Hi, we have learned how to solve ratio and proportion problems in school. We have memorized some steps like cross multiplying. Do you remember that? But why do we do that? And how do you apply the concept of ratio and proportions in the real world? That's what we learn here. Ratios and proportions are not some difficult math stuff. Truly they aren't. We use them constantly, whether we realize it or not. Do you ever talk driving your bike at 100 kilometers per hour? Or think how long it takes to travel from Delhi to Bangalore by car at 100 kilometers per hour? You have seen unit prices, such as 60 rupees per liter of petrol, 10 rupees per packet of biscuits, or 50,000 rupees for your new bike? Have you ever figured how much something costs given the unit price? Yes? Then you have used ratio and proportions. You've used ratios or rates and proportions all your life. Let us now learn a little more about ratio and proportions. Introduction. Imagine you earn 15,000 rupees every month. What is your daily pay if you work 30 days a month? Let us see how to write this down. So you are working 30 days, earning 15,000 in 30 days. So how much do you earn for one day? So for one day, let us say you earn X rupees. This can be written in proportion as 30 by 1 equals to 15,000 by X. This chapter will teach you to set up problems like these and solve them. So enjoy. Introduction to ratios. What is a ratio? Things are not always the same size, thus a natural need arises to compare quantities using division to see how much bigger a quantity is when compared to another. For example, looking at the two piles below made of red apples and green apples, you may not be satisfied just to know that there are more red apples. How many more are there? 6. What more can you learn from this information? A comparison of red apples to green apples using division may help you to see how much more red apples there are. There are 9 red apples and 3 green apples. We can do a ratio of red apples to green apples as shown below. 9 by 3 is equal to 3. The quotient or answer to the ratio above is equal to 3, and we can interpret the answer as, it means that there are 3 times more red apples than green apples. Ratio? Definition? A ratio is a comparison of two numbers using division. The ratio of A to B is A by B, with B not equal to 0. A ratio is an ordered pair of numbers, written A is to B, or A for B, with B is not equal to 0. Here, A is called antecedent, and B is called consequent. Example for definition. As you can see, there are more than one way to express a ratio. For example, if you have 6 pencils and 2 pens, all the following are good ways to express the ratio of pens to pencils. 2 is to 6, 2 per 6. The word per also means a ratio. Proportion. Introduction. Proportion is an equality of two ratios. Simply put, whenever we put an equal sign between two ratios, and the ratio on the left is equal to the ratio on the right, we say that they form a proportion. Look at the following two ratios. Right now they are just ratios, 3 per 5, and 6 per 12. Do they form a proportion? They will form a proportion if the ratios are equal. So first put an equal sign between them. Then, you have two choices to check if the ratios are equal. Choice number 1. You can just convert both ratios into decimals, and see if the decimals are equal. 3 per 5 is equal to 6 per 12. 3 per 5 is equal to 0.6, and 6 per 12 is equal to 0.5. Since 0.60 not equal to 0.50, the ratios are not equal, and therefore they do not form a proportion. Choice number 2. You can also tell if two ratios are equal by comparing their cross products. If the cross products are equal, then they form a proportion. The cross products for 3 per 5 and 6 per 12. 3 multiplied by 12 is equal to 36, and 5 multiplied by 6 is equal to 30. So 36 is not equal to 30. Therefore 3 per 5 is not equal to 6 per 12, and they do not form a proportion. Example: do 10 per 16 and 5 per 8 form a proportion? Applying method of choice to 10 multiplied by 8 is equal to 80, and 16 multiplied by 5 is equal to 80. So, here, 80 is equal to 80. Therefore, they form a proportion. When ratios are equal, they are also called equivalent fractions.